Hi, my name is Jenna Kirby. I'm 17 and I started last school year.
Hi, I'm Angel Dawson. I'm the mother of Jenna, and we came to Mountain Ed last year. Um, we found out late in life that Jenna had Asperger's, which was on the autism spectrum, and we actually found out in 8th grade. And Jenna struggled through ninth, 10th, and 11th grade. She struggled every day. She has high senses, so everything would set her off. Her, the loudness, the in the hallway, the crowdedness of the halls. She would literally come home some days from school, and she would be. I would compare it to having a seizure because she would be so lethargic that she literally had to go to her room and de-stress for like 2 or 3 hours just from all that her senses being on overload all day long. And so we dealt with this, like I said, through 11th grade. We had her in counseling, we had her on different medications and things like that. And finally, in 11th grade, we just hit an end. We hit a dead end. We was doing everything that we could, and it had become everyday process. She would text me 1,000 times a day. I can't make it through the day. So we actually made the choice to withdraw her from school, and we was going to get her in a homeschool program. But when you do that in the middle of the school year, there are no homeschool programs that are accredited. So we kind of everywhere we went, we was hitting a wall. And so I actually worked for Gordon County Schools, and our school social worker came up, and she works part time here at Mountain Ed. And she said, "Angel, have you tried Mountain Ed? It would be so perfect for Jenna." And so she started talking to me about it. We came down, did a tour, and probably within a week, Jenna had started school here. And it was perfect because her senses was just from all the overcrowding and then the constant talk and the chatter going on in the rooms. Even kids tapping pencils would just be a trigger for her. And so here at Mountain Ed, she walks in the room, she checks out a laptop, she sits down, she does her work. If she needs help, the teachers are right there to help. And otherwise, she works at her own pace. And that was another issue that she had in the classrooms because even though she has the Asperger's, she's very brilliant. And so a lot of times she would get bored in class because she would grasp what the teacher was teaching. And even though everybody else still needed it, she already had it and she was bored. So she was ready to be done with class. So here she can work at her own pace. So that's what brought us here. And it has just been the most amazing experience. She does not come home exhausted. It's also in the evening, which for an autistic child is very hard to get up, in the mornings and things like that because they don't always sleep on a schedule like we do. Mm-hmm. So to have the opportunity to be able for her to go to school in the evening, she's had the day to wake up and kind of get in her routine and everything's going. So that's, what brought us here. And then after we got here, just all the added things that we didn't have a clue about. She came home one day because we're thinking, she may or may not ever go to college. She's brilliant, but yet there are other social issues that we deal with every day. And so she started going to this Tools for Life program that they offer here. And she came home and she was so excited. And she was like, "I'm going away for college." And I was like, "What?" So, that was the first peak of interest. And I thought, wow, she really could go away for college. She really, and they've talked to her in the Tools for Life about, am I saying that right? Is it Tools for Life? Okay. They've talked to her about the different job opportunities that are out there. And it's just really opened her mind to everything. And she's wanting to go on college tours, and now she's a senior. So we're kind of going 90 miles an hour now, looking at colleges to see, and it's so far that we've come when we withdrew her from school and we was going to get her in a homeschool program and couldn't. we literally had talked about just, you know what, she's credits away from being graduated. Let's just let her do her GED.
Well, before I left, I would always like have a ton of anxiety, and I just constantly like stayed in the state of anxiety. And so I really did nothing but like lay around and stay on my phone all day. And now that I've finally gotten out, I've finally gotten used to not having to worry about going to school, waking up at 5:30 anymore. And I've finally developed some hobbies. I've been able to exercise some. I've just been better, and yeah. I never would have thought I would have gotten this better. I mean, since it is at night, it's given me a lot of time to think and kind of develop. I've gotten a lot of my anxiety, and ever since I started coming to Mountain Ed is whenever I finally started getting better. So it's that mixed with me finally wanting to get better.
I do see so many kids that struggle, and I guess the closest thing to me is the Asperger's or the autism spectrum, just because that's something that we deal with. But I mean, there are so many other kids that just struggle keeping up in class because it's kind of, you know, they have this huge no child left behind. But the fact is, if the students are not learning, you know, the teachers are going on with lessons, and here they work at their own pace. So I mean, for other parents that are wanting to bring their children here, I would be a huge advocate. Like I would get out there and shout because I know what it can do. You know, I know there's so many of those kids that they're failing. They can be doing so good in school where they're working at their own pace, whereas over here, you know, they're getting it, and then they're left behind when, you know, when they get to any pieces that don't. And then that student starts to feel like that I'm not good enough, that I'm not, you know, and then they get into other social issues and anxiety that they shouldn't even be going through. So I definitely, I mean, if you're a parent out there and, you know, like I said, I'm an advocate for the autism spectrum, the Asperger's, but I mean, if they're struggling, you know, in any difficulty area or, you know, experiencing bullying, I mean, we've seen none. If bullying exists here, I don't know. We don't see it because
And if it's like the student that has any anxiety about coming here, the teachers will help you through it. I mean, I was still wrecked with anxiety whenever I started, but I managed to get through my first night, and I think I even got a module done. The college I was looking at, the one that I helped find with one of the Tools for Life, I can't remember exactly which one, but it was Georgia Southern, the Savannah campus. And and I can't decide exactly what I want to be, but I think I want to go into forensics. I want to either be a chemist or a psychologist.
And that's another thing that they helped her figure out because with her social anxieties, I mean, yeah, in a school we're going to accommodate, but guess what? When you go to the working world, you're not accommodated. So they helped her figure out things that she could go in and do, kind of work in positions that are unsupervised and things like that. So that's where the forensic scientist comes in, is like working in a lab where you pretty much you get your orders every day and you're just filling the orders. So I thought that was pretty spectacular too. Whenever she was telling me about it, I was like, "Wow, you—that's something you could do," you know.
I mean, my favorite thing at Mountain Ed is that it's given me a flexible schedule, so it's given me a lot of time to recover. And I mean, I really am just better than I ever thought I would be, even just at the beginning of the year. And
And my favorite thing about Mountain Ed is that because she would not do that, she would not speak, she would not, you know, the transition in her and the excitement of even possibly going to college and going off to college and having an actual career when we were going to settle for GED and we're just going to, you know, pat you and tuck you here until you're better.
My name's Bill Dawson. I'm Jenna's bonus dad. One thing about Mountain Ed is it's the staff. It's not just the teachers. The folks that work in the front office, right down to the student resource officer. they care. It's not a case of, oh, well, here's another kid, and that's one of the things that I think stands out about Mountain Head. Um, but I agree with Angel. One of the greatest things about this place is how much it's helped Jenna to transition and to get a grasp on what was her weakness, and she's been able to turn it into a strength. Um, she's grabbed a hold of life, and now she enjoys life a whole lot more than she did. Um, and that's credited to Mountain Ed. It really is, because this transition never happened until she came to school here.